Okay, let's dive into this. When you picture a honeybee hive, what do you usually see? Like a bustling, sunlit community, right? Everyone just working together perfectly for the greater good. Well, today's explainer is going to completely shatter that image. We're going to uncover the dark, hidden reality of the honeybee hive. We're talking intense political intrigue, genetic manipulation, and brutal betrayal. It is literally a game of drones.
So let's start with Section 1, the peaceful hive myth, a buzzing illusion. You know, it's probably the most common misconception out there that a beehive is this completely harmonious, peaceful utopia working in perfect sync. And sure, from the outside, it looks super idyllic and highly organized, but I really want you to look closer with me today. Let's peel back the honeycomb and see what's actually happening beneath the surface, because the truth is far more dramatic than this peaceful facade suggests.
Instead of a utopia, the hive is actually defined by warring factions. These are groups within a larger society that are in a constant state of internal conflict, basically fighting for dominance and control. That peaceful illusion completely hides a hive buzzing with intense warfare, specifically a massive power struggle between the queen and her very own worker bees. This brings us right to Section 2, the royal factions. Let's meet the players.
Now, what's really interesting here is that there are three types of bees in a hive. You've got the egg-laying queen, her worker daughters, and her drone sons. And right off the bat, there's a fundamental clash in priorities between them. On one side, we have the queen's goal. She wants to produce an equal number of drone sons and worker daughters. She needs the daughters to run the hive, nurse the larvae, and feed her. And she needs the sons to pass on her genes by mating with other queens. But the worker daughters, who are the ones actually doing the heavy lifting of caring for the eggs, well, they have a completely different agenda. Their goal is to produce mostly sisters. Why? Because they simply want more help to share the incredibly heavy workload of maintaining the colony.
Which leads us directly into Section 3, the genetic motive. It's basically a twisted math problem. So, why are workers so obsessed with having more sisters? Well, it actually comes down to a really weird genetic reality. Because male drones hatch from unfertilized eggs, they actually don't have a father. And this strange quirk means worker bees share a massive 75% of their genes with their sisters. But if you compare that to the others, they only share 50% with the queen and a mere 25% with their drone brothers. So genetically speaking, it's vastly more beneficial for the workers to favor their highly related female sisters over their much more distantly related brothers. It's just a cold, calculated evolutionary bias.
Moving to Section 4, rigging the hive, brutal tactics. So how exactly do they enforce this preference? Well, because the workers control the food supply, they preferentially feed the female larvae, leaving the males to literally beg for scraps. And if that isn't enough, they will actively drag the drone larvae out to die, just to free up resources for their sisters. So the crucial point is the outcome here is staggering. It's 10 to 1. Because the workers ultimately control the food, they completely control the sex ratio of the entire hive. This rigged system is so incredibly effective that the female workers outnumber the male drones by an unbelievable 10 to 1 margin. The queen might be the one laying the eggs, but make no mistake, the workers definitively dictate who gets to survive.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how unusual honeybees are compared to other communal insects. Take termites, for example. In a termite colony, the workers, soldiers, and royalty can actually be both male and female. Because of this, termite workers don't give any preferential treatment based on gender, and their populations end up much more mathematically balanced. The extreme skew we see in honeybees is a direct result of their unique, female-driven genetic warfare.
But the betrayal doesn't stop at just starving their brothers. Section 5, mutiny against the queen, a deep worker conflict.
This worker-queen conflict goes way deeper than just spoiling sisters. The workers are constantly acting as spies. The moment they notice the old queen's health and egg-laying start to slow down, they initiate a very precise succession playbook. Step 1, they monitor and detect that slowdown. Step 2, they immediately single out a baby sister and start feeding her a highly specialized formula. Step 3, this super-rich diet chemically triggers the baby's ovaries to start developing. And finally, Step 4, they successfully raise a potential new queen literally right under their mother's nose.
Now, the old queen isn't oblivious to this treason. She absolutely fights back. In order to keep her crown and her life, the old queen has to constantly scour the hive, trying to find and kill these queens-to-be before they can grow up and mature. It is a super tense, high-stakes game of hide-and-seek playing out right there in the dark corridors of the hive.
But if the old queen fails and a new queen fully matures, well, we reach the dramatic climax of our explainer. The workers might gang up on the old queen and assassinate her, Julius Caesar style. We're talking complete, brutal regicide. The workers will literally turn on their own mother, assassinating her to supplant her with a sister they share more genes with.
But an assassination actually isn't the only way a mutiny can end. There's mutiny option 2. The hive might fragment. A massive group of workers will swear fealty to the new sister queen and just fly off to start a completely new hive, leaving the old queen behind. But there is a really deep irony built into both of these options. While things might be great for this new queen right now, one day her very own daughters might decide to execute this exact same mutiny against her.
So with all this wild, true crime drama happening right in our own backyards, we kind of have to pause and ask, why do these brutal monarchs actually matter to us?
Well, they matter because despite the ruthless, cutthroat reality inside the hive, bees are awesome, and they are utterly essential pollinators. And right now, they, along with a ton of other important pollinators, are rapidly disappearing from our world. Their internal politics might be totally brutal, but their external job is absolutely vital to the survival of global ecosystems. The good news is that we can actually help, and that brings us to Planet Wild's restoration missions. They're doing some seriously incredible work. Every single month, they use community funds to launch targeted missions to restore the planet. I just love that they tackle problems with very specific, actionable goals. Plus, they prove their impact by showing real results on their YouTube channel, like how they recently helped save the habitat of monarch butterflies down in Mexico. It's just a fantastic, transparent way to make a tangible difference in nature.
And we actually have an opportunity for you to get involved right now. The first 100 people to sign up using the code MINUTEARTH1 will get their first month fully paid for. You can just scan the QR code or click the link in the description to join. And I really want to be clear here, there is absolutely no catch. You can cancel anytime. It's just an incredibly easy way to support the ecosystems these fascinating insects rely on.
So, we've peeled back the honeycomb and looked at the shocking truth today. Which leads me to this final question to leave you with. Next time you see a bee buzzing innocently around a flower, will you just see a peaceful pollinator, or will you see a ruthless political mastermind executing genetic warfare in the dark? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning what you see because nature is always more complex and fascinating than it appears on the surface.